In this video, we're going to be ranking every single starting running back in the NFL on a tier list. Now, if you're new here, consider subscribing, drop a like, and let's go ahead and get right into the video. It has been a minute since our last video on this channel, and I want to do one more of these NFL tier rankings. This time, we're doing running backs. How we're going to be ranking today is from the tiers Elite, Great, Good, Serviceable, and then I kind of don't really know how to rank rookies, so I'm going to have their own tier and the rookie tier. Obviously, I know my list is the final say. It is the only right thing. Nobody else can have an opinion. My opinion is fact. Gonna kind of speed run this. However, you know, we've all been waiting long enough. Let's get right into it with the first guy being James Cook. I'm honestly gonna put him in the good tier. I don't think he's a great or elite running back just yet. He could be, you know, with all of these players, obviously they can, you know, up their play and get to that tier, but right now he had a really good season last year. However, I just got to put him in the good tier. Now next up we have Devon Achane, and I think this is going to be a little bit different. I am going to put him in the great tier. You know, he's only had 2 years in the league. However, he's got the explosiveness. Honestly, he's kind of a do-it-all back. You know, maybe there are some questions, can he run between the tackles? But this guy can do it in the pass game. He can break off huge runs. I think he's a great running back to have, super explosive. Now, Ramondre Stevenson is next. I am gonna probably put him at the bottom of the good tier. I think he's good. He obviously, I think he's better than serviceable. He's kind of like a Devon Achane, except not as explosive, but can kind of do it all. Except, you know, last year he did have some fumbling issues. We're gonna have to see how that's going to be and if he can hold on to the football this year, but I feel like he's a nice solid guy for New England. Now we have Breece Hall, dude. Talk about explosive. It's this guy. I'm gonna put him in the great tier. I would put him in an elite, however, he's had a lot of injuries, dude. I think he's solid. Plus, you know, that New York Jets offense really doesn't do him any good. I remember his rookie year, and then the year after, I think he was doing so good his rookie year, and then he tore his ACL in Denver, I believe. Okay, here's another guy that I'm not going to put in great. I'm going to put him in elite, our first one, Derrick Henry. I put him in elite because he still showed off his explosiveness last season by breaking huge runs, and I think he's the best guy to have on the goal line. Like, if you have Derrick Henry in your offense and you're inside the 5-yard line, bro, he's scoring, I feel like, 99% of the time. He's just super big, super powerful. He's going to get into the end zone no matter what. Then we will have Chase Brown, who I also think is kind of explosive, can give you those big plays. He sort of reminds me of a mixture of Devon Achane and Ramondre Stevenson. I'm going to put him in the middle of the good tier, but I just feel like, you know, putting him above Ramondre, it's just the explosiveness for me. You know, if you think about it, he fits perfectly in that Cincinnati offense because they're not really gonna ground and pound it. He's more of a pass catcher, can come out, help Joe Burrow on those little check downs, and maybe even take a pass all the way to the house. This is going to be our first guy that we're going to have in the serviceable tier, and it is going to be Jerome Ford. I think he's just all right, good guy. You give him a good offensive line. He could put up some good stats. He is serviceable at the end of the day. I believe this is Quinshon Judkins. I'm not really good with the rookies or their face profile, but, you know, obviously I'm going to put him in the rookie tier. Now we have Jaylen Warren. I think he's a little bit better than serviceable. I can kind of see some flashes out of him. I am going to put him probably at the bottom of good. I like, you know, Jaylen Warren. I am going to give him a lot of respect and put him right here because I think he is just a little bit better than serviceable because he definitely has more of that, you know, superstar and big play potential. Joe Mixon had a very solid year last year in Houston. I can't lie about that. Did pick up, I believe it was an ankle injury, and then towards the end of the year, he kind of cooled off a little bit. I'm going to put him at the top of the good tier. I know I'm being a little bit harsh here. Some would say he probably is in the great tier just because of the season he had last year. I think he's a good running back. I'm going to put him at the top of good. Jonathan Taylor, this guy is actually very, very interesting. I am going to put him in elite. I will put him a little bit behind Derrick Henry. You know, that 2021 season, I believe it was 2021 or 2022 season, where he just went absolutely berserk. That was crazy. You know, last year, especially towards the end of last year, he started going ham as well. But I just feel like, you know, Indianapolis, I don't know what's going on with that offensive line. I don't know what's going on. I should say, I don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation. I just feel like, you know, as a talent, Jonathan Taylor is an elite talent. Next up, we have Travis Etienne. I am gonna put him right. Yeah, I would put him right here in the good tier. I still think, you know, he's a solid running back at the end of the day. This is where it gets a little bit interesting because Tony Pollard, is he above serviceable? I think so. Where would I put him though? I would probably, honestly, right now, as of right now, dude, maybe probably below Ramondre Stevenson. Listen, I'm giving Ramondre Stevenson respect. I don't think he's the craziest running back to have in your backfield, but I am going to give him the respect. Tony Pollard, he is pretty good. He did show flashes in Dallas. I honestly didn't mind what he did over there in Tennessee. It was solid. It was okay. Now, I believe this guy is a rookie as well, so I'm going to put him in rookie because I don't even know that face mask. So I'm going to put him down there in the rookie tier. Then we have Isaiah Pacheco. Kind of interesting. It runs hard. You know, we've all seen those memes of him running, you know, with those high knees and everything. I'm going to put him behind James Cook because I just think that James Cook and Joe Mixon as a talent, they're way more talented than him. You know, Isaiah Pacheco, I think he was a 7th round pick, but you've got to give him credit, dude. He runs hard. He plays good. He's a very, very solid running back to have in your backfield. And then we have Ashton Jeanty, who's a rookie. We're going to put him there, but honestly, we could probably put him in one of these tiers already. Okay, then we have Najee Harris. Najee Harris, dude. I mean, I remember whenever he was coming out of Alabama, dude. He went in the 1st round. I think he's a bit better than serviceable. I would honestly probably have to put him above. I don't even know if I'd have to put him because Jaylen Warren. But to be fair with Najee, I don't think he's had a year under 1,000 yards. So he, you know, has been kind of consistent. I can't knock that. I will put him above here, but as a talent, I probably think that Jaylen Warren is a little bit better. It looks like we have Javonte Williams, dude. And Javonte Williams, I remember this guy, he was so good, but honestly, I'm gonna have to put him in serviceable. I think it was his 2nd year in Denver. I remember this fantasy wise. He was like predicted to go 2nd round in most fantasy drafts. They were expecting him to have a big season, but you know, to be fair, he did suffer from injuries. I think it was, you know, knee injuries, ACL tears. It is what it is. Tyrone Tracy, I think he's a good running back to have. Solid, nothing crazy. I think it's all right. I would put him probably, I'd rather have him over these 3, but I would probably have to put him behind Ramondre Stevenson. All right, here we go. It gets a little bit easier right now. I'm going to put Saquon Barkley at the top of the elite tier just because, bro, he's a crazy talent, dude. He is insane. He had that one where he just hurdled over somebody backwards. This last season that he had, I think he almost had 2,000 yards, or he did have 2,000 rushing yards. Not really sure. Brian Robinson Jr. I really like Brian Robinson Jr. Honestly, I'll put him right here behind Isaiah Pacheco. I think he could definitely be a very, very good to great running back in the league. You know, he's got a better offense now. Jaden Daniels is at the helm. I like the little backfield thing, the little committee that they have between him and Eckler. I think he's just a very good running back. DeAndre Swift, kind of one of the more interesting guys that we have on this list. You know, he gets drafted by Detroit, nothing insane, just solid. Then he goes to Philadelphia, where he has a really good year, but is kind of behind that really good offensive line. Then he goes to Chicago, where, you know, the first couple games were okay, but honestly, he picked things up was very solid. I'm gonna probably put DeAndre Swift in the good tier. I would put him above Tyron Tracy. Okay, next up we have, ooh, it looks like Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm already gonna have to put Jahmyr Gibbs in that elite tier, bro. He's going at the top of the top. He's in elite tier. He's got all of the tools that you want in an elite running back. Explosive, can, you know, run through the tackles. I mean, this guy and what he can do. If he didn't have David Montgomery in that backfield, bro, he would be putting up even more insane numbers, I believe. David Montgomery is up next. You know, Sonic and Knuckles. I guess it's time for Knuckles to get put on this tier list. I don't know. This one is kind of hard because I don't think he's, as a talent, is elite. He, you know, had a great season last year and has played really good ever since going to the Lions, but I don't know if I can put him even in the great tier. I'm probably honestly gonna have to put him over here at the top of the really, really good tier, dude. We do have Josh Jacobs. He had a pretty solid year in Green Bay. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of great. I think he's honestly one of the more underrated running backs in the league. I don't know. I feel like whenever people talk about really good running backs, they don't really mention Josh Jacobs, and I think he's good, especially his days in Vegas. I think things are only going to get better. I think he's consistent. I think he does have that explosiveness. I will never forget the walk-off he had in overtime to beat the Seattle Seahawks. That's just a core memory that I have. I think he's a great running back to have. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is up next, dude. I kind of like the way Aaron Jones runs. It's a bit weird, right? To me, it looks so awkward that it works, dude. And I kind of enjoy watching him play. But, you know, as a talent and everything, I think he's really good. You know, he is getting a little bit older. Injuries are catching up to him. But I think as a talent and everything, I'm going to have to put him just behind Isaiah Pacheco at this point in his career. Now we're about to add another elite running back. This is going to be our number 5 guy, Bijan Robinson, dude. I mean, do I really need to say anything crazy? If he wasn't sharing, like, doing that thing with Tyler Algier where one person gets a drive, the other one gets a drive, and then they just switch back and forth, dude, I think he would be putting up monster numbers. He already just puts up really good numbers, but I think he would be going insane. Chuba Hubbard, dude. This honestly might take you guys off. I'm going to put him in serviceable. Okay, listen. He had a really good year this last year. Yes, really good. Carolina just ran the football. They gave it to him. But as a talent-wise, I just don't think as a talent he's better than these guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm a casual. Maybe, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch too many of the Carolina Panthers games. Whenever I see him, I'm like, he's okay. He's really good. And don't get me wrong, Carolina, that offensive line was kind of rebuilt and is a very good rushing unit. All right, guys. I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not. Yes, Alvin Kamara in the great tier. I still think he's a great running back to have. I just think the teams that he's had and he's been on, it's just meh. It's nothing. You know, he's a really good running back for fantasy and everything. I still believe in Alvin Kamara, dude. It kind of sucks that these past couple of years, the team hasn't really been all of that. I do think he's an elite talent. Now, his explosiveness, I don't think it's the same as his first couple of years in the league. But I think what really sets him apart, I think he's probably on this list the best pass catcher. Come on, he's a dual threat guy. Talk about a guy who has explosiveness. That's Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving, dude. I have high praise. I like what I saw. I'm gonna put Bucky behind David Montgomery. Yes, after his rookie year, I'm gonna put him behind there. But dude, honestly, looking at this bottom tier, dude, he has the best chance out of all these guys to move up to that great and especially that elite tier, because he's got that elite playmaking ability. I feel like he could just, you know, bust those big plays. He can juke. He's explosive. He's got all of that. That's all you need. Bucky Irving, dude. I feel like he's heating up. That's the name to watch. James Conner, another very, very solid running back to have. I'm gonna put him. I would put him above Isaiah Pacheco, dude. I'd put him above there. I kind of like what they do over there. It makes a lot of sense. And whenever you look and you watch Arizona and you just think that they want to be a physical team, run the football, it makes it a lot more enjoyable watching that team. You know, they do have Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, so it might get a little frustrating, like, why aren't you throwing the football? But whenever you really look at them and you understand what they're trying to do on offense, they have James Conner, and I feel like James Conner fits that role perfectly. I'm gonna put Kyron, though. I'm gonna put him honestly above James Conner. Now, listen, people are like, he had some great years. I'm not going to put him in that great category just because I did see a thing where he was one of the most inefficient running backs, you know, last season as it pertains to yards per carry. You know, the amount of carries he got and the average yards he got from those carries. I did see, I don't know where it was from. I saw it somewhere, but I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into that a little bit too much. I just think he's a very good running back. Christian McCaffrey, dude. I'm putting him in that elite tier still, dude. I'm still putting him in the elite tier, dude. A healthy Christian McCaffrey is an elite running back. Okay, come on now. Even though he is getting pretty old, or he's getting up there in running back age-wise, he's getting up there. He's still elite, bro. If he's not dealing with an injury and we get a fully healthy Christian McCaffrey, dude, he's gonna go off. He's gonna go crazy. I still believe in Christian McCaffrey. I'm not putting him in the great tier. I think he's above that. I think he's elite. Last up, we have Kenneth Walker. And Kenneth Walker is an interesting guy because I think he's a very good talent. I would probably put him below, as of right now, situation-wise. No, I would actually put him above Brian Robinson. That's going to be our last guy with the ranking, but I'm going to put him above there. They have him and Zach Charbonnet, so they're kind of running a committee over there. But I kind of like, he's got some explosiveness. I feel like he's just kind of dealing with an injury, like all the time, though. That's kind of what's holding him back. But I think that's going to end up doing it. So if you guys are enjoying the content that's kind of like this, then go check out my last video where I ranked every single starting wide receiver. But I guess with all of that being said, I will see you all in the next one, and shout out to the members. Yeet.